Stress-Free Cooking is brought to you by From the sunny Mediterranean comes one of the world's finest olive oils for all your cooking needs. Pompeian extra virgin olive oil, classic Mediterranean, and extra light tasting. Pompeian makes everything better. From our table to yours, O-Pee-Chee Wines, fine wines and spirits from around the world since 1913. Cutco, the world's finest cutlery. Melissa's, the freshest ideas in produce. And Sub-Zero Wolf Appliances.
Hi, I'm Barbara Seelig-Brown. Welcome to Stress-Free Cooking. Tonight we're going to have a little dinner party, dinner for two. Before we start, we have to put on our bunny slippers, pour a glass of wine, and get ready to cook. So the wine that I've selected for this is called Grillo. It's a Sicilian wine. It has a lot of citrus in it, and it also has a lot of stone fruit and melon. So it'll be a perfect complement to my menu. Oh, I can really taste the melon in that. Really great. What we want to do is start with our Cornish hen. We're going to roast a Cornish hen, but before we do that, we need to make a little marinade. So the marinade for the Cornish hen is going to be some garlic, some minced garlic, about a little bit much there, about 2 cloves of minced garlic, some Worcestershire sauce. We're almost making sort of a Bloody Mary for the Cornish hen, a little horseradish, okay, a little salt and pepper. And then we'll bring this all together with some tomato juice. So it's sort of like a Bloody Mary Cornish hen. We'll marinate this at least 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll pop it in the oven. So we'll get the marinade going. Okay, mix well, add the tomato juice. And then we're going to let the Cornish hen sit in this for a few minutes while we go on to something else. But first we have to get the Cornish hen ready. So a Cornish hen is great. It's just a little baby chicken. And I've washed mine off. Let me grab a serrated knife. Okay, so what we're going to do is cut this hen in half. Take your serrated knife, cut right alongside the breastbone. See how easy that is when you have a great knife and nice and sharp. And then I like to crack it. It makes it a little easier around the backbone. And this goes into my baking dish. And I am going to cut the backbone right out of this. Okay? And pour the marinade over it. And it's that easy. We're going to let this marinate for about 20 minutes. That'll give me enough time to start my celery root puree, which we're going to serve with this. So let's clean up and move on to the celery root. Let's get ready to make a celery root puree. It's a nice replacement for mashed potatoes. This is what a celery root looks like. You find it in the produce section of the grocery store. It's very knobby, and you can see it has celery on the top. So we're going to cut off the top, and you can save this for another use. Cut this in half since it's so big. It is a little hard, and we'll cut it again. And the best way to peel this is to cut it into pieces and then peel it with a paring knife. The smaller you cut the pieces of the celery root, the more quickly they will cook. So we want to cut them up into fairly small pieces before we put them in the pot. We're going to boil this like a potato. And it takes maybe 10-15 minutes depending on the size of the pieces, and then we're just going to mash it like mashed potatoes. It has a really fresh, clean taste, almost like a cross between celery and parsley, I think. Some people like to put a lot of butter or cream with this. I just happen to like it plain with a little salt and pepper. You could add some chicken stock to it. Chicken stock would be a great thing to cook it in, but then you'd lose that really bright, fresh flavor. You'd have more of a rich, savory flavor. Nice even-sized pieces will cook more evenly. And just one more piece. Okay, let's get this into, runaway celery root. Get this into a saucepan big enough to hold it and cover it with water. Make sure that when you have the flame under your pan, it's under the pan and not licking the sides. That's a little high. Okay, put the lid on with a little salt in the pan, a couple of pinches, and that's going to cook about 10 minutes or so, again, depending on the size of the pieces. Now that our Cornish hen has been marinating for a little while, it's time to pop this into the oven. And all we're going to do is turn these pieces over and roast it right in this baking dish in the marinade so that we get lots of flavor and we get a little bit of a sauce. So we'll pop this in a 425-degree convection oven for about 45 minutes until golden brown. Let's make a little green vegetable to complement our meal. So we'll take a zucchini and we're just going to saute the zucchini with some shallot and a little bit of garlic and some salt and pepper, nice and easy. Shallot is a nice complement to a vegetable. It's a milder flavor of onion. I kind of think of it as an elegant onion. Those are the little pink onions that you see in the store. Looks like a little pink onion. I have a nice saute pan, some extra virgin olive oil, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. We're going to need that later for our lemon sauce for our pasta, so we'll set it aside over there. I have some shallots that I've already sliced. Put those in the pan. My zucchini. Those are the two ends that we don't need. We're going to sprinkle this with a little salt and freshly ground black pepper. And then I also have some lemon thyme in my refrigerator that I'll add to this at the very end, so we get the full flavor of the fresh herb. When you're using fresh herbs, sometimes their flavors will cook out if you put them in too soon in the dish or if the heat is too high. So we'll add that lemon thyme at the end. So get this going. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. I have a clove of garlic handy. Give it a crush and a quick chop. And into the pan with the zucchini we go. You want to be careful that you don't put your garlic in too soon or it might burn. Now while these dishes are cooking, let's go on and work on our first course, which will be a lemon pasta. Our first course is going to be a great lemon pasta. So let's gather up all of the equipment that we need. I need a strainer so that I can juice my lemons. I need a fork to help me juice my lemons and a bowl for the lemon juice to go into, as well as a nice chef's knife. To get the maximum juice out of your lemons, what you want to do is bring them to room temperature and roll them on the cutting board just under the palm of your hands, and you'll help to loosen up some of that juice. So we'll do that for all the lemons. Ooh, they smell good. You can really smell that lemon oil when you start doing this. Okay, so now we cut them in half. Let's cut them all in half first. Grab your fork and your bowl with the strainer and just stick the fork in the center of the lemon and squeeze the lemon right around the fork. Nice and quick and easy. It avoids having to have that extra lemon juicer around. And you always have a fork, so that's always handy. So lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, please don't use the plastic lemons. It tastes like plastic. Fresh lemon juice, parsley. We're going to chop some fresh flat Italian parsley, a little extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. We whisk it together like it's a salad dressing. Serve it over angel hair pasta. And it can be served hot or cold or room temperature, whatever you like. It's a great summer dish. It tastes nice and refreshing in the summer. Serve it cold outside. And there's nothing in it to spoil, which is great because when it is hot and humid and sunny outside, you can serve a dish that you really don't have to worry about. Okay, so all of our lemons are done. Let's remove the strainer. Grab the parsley. And since this parsley is going in the lemon dish, I can continue to work with the same cutting board. So a nice bunch of parsley, chef's knife, start to chop. A rough chop is fine because you want to see the fresh herbs in your dish. If I'm going through the trouble of using fresh herbs, I want you to know it. Okay, just a little more. That should do it. Into the lemon juice. Okay. A couple of pinches of salt. We're using fine sea salt. That's all I use in my kitchen. It's the most flavorful and the most nutritious, meaning that it has the most nutrients from the sea in it. A little bit of fresh ground black pepper, and this needs to be adjusted just a little. Most pepper mills have an adjustment, so you can get it just the way you want it, fine or coarse. Now I need my extra virgin olive oil and a whisk. Whoops, my tongs are hugging my whisk. So a little extra virgin olive oil in this to bring it all together. And I wanted a nice creamy consistency, but whisking it will help to break down the extra virgin olive oil, and it will give me more of that creamy consistency that I'm looking for. And we did use 3 lemons, so we do need quite a bit of extra virgin olive oil. And the more we have in here, the further this dressing will go. We could actually serve it on the pasta. If we have extra, we could save it for tomorrow night and serve it on the salad. So we're going to set that aside, let that flavor blend, the lemon and the olive oil. Throw in the pasta. Let's drain our celery root, grab the mixer, and we'll be ready to make the side dish that goes with the Cornish hen, the celery root puree. We have our celery root that's been cooked until fork tender. Put it in the mixing bowl, turn on the mixer, and we're just going to mash this up a little bit as if it were mashed potatoes. I need to grab a scraper for that. Okay. Once it gets going, we're going to turn the mixer up just a little bit. Pinch of salt, a little fresh ground black pepper, or white pepper if you prefer not to see the black pepper flecks. Let me scrape down the bowl. And then the last thing I'm going to do to this, I'm just going to add just a touch of cream to this, just to give it a little bit of moisture. Make it a little bit more fun for our Cornish hens. Just enough to make it look smooth. This is very fibrous, so it's not going to be quite as creamy as mashed potatoes. All right, let's take a look. Let's scrape the bowl down. Ah, yes, that looks good. This looks great. So what we're going to do now is let's just take this out of the bowl, put it in an oven-safe dish, and pop it in the oven to stay warm while we finish the rest of our dishes. We still have to finish our zucchini, cook our pasta, and then we can plate everything. Okay, this looks like just about a perfect fit here. Excellent. I'm going to pop this into my oven so that it'll stay warm. Alrighty, let's cook our pasta. Water's boiling nicely. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of salt. You want to make sure that your water's at a nice rolling boil, really bubbling away. We're going to cook some angel hair. Angel hair really only takes about 3 or 4 minutes. So I like to break it up so that it fits nicely into the pot. The trick with cooking pasta is to make sure that it has plenty of water to dance around in. You don't want the pasta to have to stick together in the pot. Okay, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because it looks as if my flame is getting a little bit